You know, from scorching heat waves to truly devastating floods, the power of nature is just incredible. But there's a silent guardian working behind the scenes, watching over an entire nation. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and go inside the organization that reads the skies and the earth to keep millions of people safe.
Now this isn't a line from some disaster movie. It's a real, actual alert from the Pakistan Meteorological Department. And it's a pretty stark reminder that, for so many people, warnings like this are the very first line of defense. The stakes are just unbelievably high. And that information has to be fast, it has to be accurate, and it has to be crystal clear.
All right, so who are these weather watchers? This shield against the storm? Well, let's meet the unsung heroes of our story. The Pakistan Meteorological Department, or as pretty much everyone calls it, the PMD. So at its heart, the PMD is the country's official scientific authority on, well, all things weather-related. But their mission goes way, way beyond just telling you if you need to grab an umbrella. It's all about providing critical information for protection and safety, a job that honestly touches every single part of society in Pakistan. You know, the PMD that we see today, it didn't just pop up overnight. Its story is this incredible journey of growth that really mirrors the journey of the nation itself. It's a pretty fascinating look at how it went from very humble beginnings to a modern scientific powerhouse. Just think about this for a second. When it all started back in 1947, the entire department, the whole thing, was built on a network of just 15 observatories. 15. That's it. 15 little points on a map trying to cover a vast and incredibly diverse new country. That was the starting line. And wow, what a journey it's been since then. You can see on this timeline just how quickly their job expanded. By 1961, they were already so important that they helped set up the National Space Agency, Suparco. A few years after that, in '65, they were bringing the forecast right into people's living rooms on TV. And then, by 1974, they took on this massive new responsibility, monitoring the very ground under their feet for earthquakes. So from those original 15, the network has just exploded. Today, there are 111 observatories scattered all across the country. I mean, that just perfectly shows the scale of their growth. That's more than 7 times as many, creating this dense web that gives them a much, much clearer picture of what's happening.
Okay, so they've got this huge network in place. But what exactly are they doing with it? This is where we get to look at the incredible tools and expertise the PMD uses to actually carry out its mission of protecting people.
Right, the first thing you have to get is that the PMD does a lot more than just weather. They're deep into hydrology, that's the study of water, so they can predict floods. They're in seismology, monitoring for earthquakes. They even cover things like geomagnetism and astrophysics. So what they really are is this multi-talented institution that studies the whole planet. And to handle all these different threats, they've set up these highly specialized teams. There's a flood forecasting division that just watches the rivers, a national seismic center that's always listening for the slightest tremor of an earthquake, and a team of cyclone trackers keeping an eye on the Arabian Sea. Each one is like a focused unit, a specific tool built to fight a specific danger. And the impact of all this work is literally everywhere, a lot of times in ways we don't even see. The PMD's data and all their expertise is really woven into the very fabric of the nation's economy and day-to-day life. Take flying, for example. Every single flight, and I mean every single one, whether it's a commercial jet, a military plane, or a VVIP transport, it absolutely depends on critical weather data from the PMD for a safe takeoff, flight, and landing.
Or think about farming, which is the backbone of the economy, right? The PMG gives specific, tailored advice to farmers, helping them figure out the best time to plant, when to water their crops, and when to harvest. This information is directly tied to the country's food security. Their work even helps shape the world around us. The PMD actually consults on huge infrastructure projects. They use all their seismic data to help engineers design safer dams and buildings that can hopefully stand up to an earthquake.
And here's a really cool one. On a cultural level, the PMD is also the official source for astronomical info. They play a huge role in things like sighting the moon for religious festivals and accurately predicting events like eclipses. It's a really neat blend of modern science and ancient tradition.
Now, in a region that has some of the world's biggest glaciers, this is an absolutely critical modern mission. The PMD is actively monitoring them, watching for glacial melt and warning people about potential outburst floods. These things are called gelofts, and they happen when a natural ice dam breaks, sending this sudden, terrifying wall of water rushing downstream. It's a huge and growing threat in a warming world.
And that brings us right to today.
Because all of the PMD's history, all of their expertise, it's all being put to the test like never before by the global challenge of climate change. So their mission isn't just continuing, it's getting more intense every single year.
So what's their game plan for this new reality? Well, you can see it's all about being proactive, about getting ahead of the problem. It's about making early warning systems even better, figuring out the real impacts of climate change, trying to predict what the future looks like, and helping every part of the economy adapt. This is really their forward-looking strategy for survival and resilience. So when you look back, from starting with just 15 observatories to now being on the front lines of the climate crisis, the PMD has proven it's an absolutely essential national asset, which leaves us with a pretty big question. As our climate gets more and more extreme, just how much more are we all going to depend on our weather watchers?